All right, and welcome to TTP episode 17. We are doing our first Talking Tactical podcast movies, where we're going to have fun talking about a movie me and my wonderful co-host Nero have watched, break it down, and have a bunch of fun. And definitely, of course, relate it back to that paintball, because, paintball.
Tactical.
Tactics. Yeah. So, Nero, how are you?
I'm good, man. Very good. Thank you. It's been a week, a little bit earlier than our normal schedule, but here we go.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So, if you want to start off, what movie did we watch? And, yeah.
Well, we started off with John Wick. It wasn't all of our viewers' choice, but can't please everybody.
No, it was just one of those ones. That's a recent one that I think we really enjoyed, and we're both able to watch it. And so we're going to check that out. We're going to break it down a little bit and, just chat what we thought of it. We have a rating system. I know. Scary thought. But we have a rating system, what we thought of with it, and relating it back to paintball, of course. So full disclosure, there's going to be spoilers. We're going to talk about the movie in full. One of the reasons why someone asked why we didn't do John Wick 2, that's the reason. We didn't want to spoil that for everybody, so.
I'll start with 1, get to 2.
Yeah, all good. And we have some recommendations already for what else we want to do as well. So, all right, so where do you want to start with it?
Well, I'll start off right from the beginning. I mean, he's from the get-go. He's already a broken man. He's disoriented, completely disoriented. His wife's died, and then of course he gets this package. And the first time you really see this person who's supposed to be Baba Yaga, this fucking badass motherfucker, forgets that he's holding somebody else's pen. Like something that simple. Like right away, there's something wrong. He's not all there.
Yeah.
That stood out to me immediately. I was like, oh man, okay, that makes sense. Like somebody who's just a broken man.
Yeah, exactly.
Stood out to me.
No, it did to me too. Like it was like you could tell that like he had something, and there was the at the beginning when he meets I forget his name because I'm horrible with names. His
Joseph.
other, yeah. When he
or Marcus, the assassin.
Marcus, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, like, are you out? Are you in? Like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. He goes, well, you look like crap, so.
Just wanted to say hi.
Yeah, just wanted to say hi and make sure you're doing okay. So, I thought it was a cool setup. That he didn't see him like, I don't know, like he had lived life. He'd been happy, and it was gone. And I also like that it was gone because you could see someone who had been taken to the edge and didn't have anywhere to lose. Like honestly, like he had nothing to lose at that point. So then leading into that, so what did he have was his dog and his car and his house
and his anger like one of the something like I noticed, like he doesn't go through all the stages of guilt, but one of the stages of guilt is anger, and you see him driving that car and he goes ballistic. Starts yelling and screaming. But this is after the confrontation with Joseph, and naturally I'm sure he was a little pissed off with that, right? Joseph. It's funny how he always ends up like Joseph Theon. He always ends up playing that coward.
Yeah,
always casted as a coward,
which is hilarious because like with Game of Thrones being back and stuff, I had no idea it was the same actor. Like I don't watch Game of Thrones as closely, but yeah. Shout out to James in the comments. He's bumping back to check it out. So yeah, so he meets a coward, a Russian mobster's son, who I do want to point out one thing though. Is that in comparison to John Wick, yeah, you're right. He's a total lame guy, but later on, like, he does take care of business. He is a somebody. Like, he's daddy somebody, but he is in the business. So there is that part. Because they went and took care of some action before he comes back and his dad finds out what he did.
Yeah, but it's never really taught. All they say really is that he took care of something in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
And that's something I want to point out, that totally... He's there, he's cocky, like he just came off some kind of a job that was successful. So this kid's full of cock, full of adrenaline, ready to go at any event. He's like, I want this car. This is my car. I'm going to get this car, not knowing for any reason or for any purpose whose car this is.
Yeah.
So. I totally but I love the first time you really see that Theon Greyjoy pop out is when John rebuttals in Russian.
Oh yeah,
this bitch is for sale, or
And
Oh yeah, and he backs off and total like, oh, I'm a bitch, and he starts turning into his daddy's little boy. Oh, that guy disrespected me immediately, right away, chirping to his friend, who was just like, have a nice day,
yeah,
giddy up,
yeah,
you know. And
So-
that's another thing. If this John Wick guy was as badass as he says he is, and has been working for the Russians for as long as he was supposed to have, wouldn't one of them have known this guy's face? And wouldn't he know his boss's son's face?
quite possibly. But was it 5 years or was it 10 years that he was gone?
5.
It was
Well,
5 years.
It's like 5 years and change, I think, is how he says it
5.
to that bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 years and change. It's a good point, and there are some plot holes in this. Like there's like some cinematography, some story wise.
They never explain why Willem Dafoe actually helps out John Wick. They just have like 3 scenes where they're friendly, but no like why. There's no why. Just, hey, I wanted to check in on you. I mean, yeah, okay, they're good friends.
I think it's a mentor
That's
protege.
what I mean, though. We have to completely. I never read the backstory, unfortunately. I really wish I did read the graphic novel or even the novelization of this. Like most movies that I try.
So that isn't fully explained, but yeah. So then the other thing too is that they do get the jump on him. So like, yeah, he is a badass, but he's also been out of the scene. And so, do you think it weakens the character or strengthens the character that he got the jump on him?
In which, when he gets the jump on him in his own home?
Yeah, yeah.
50-50, because I mean he's got this new sense. What's going on, Magfed addicts? You get the sense where he's already disoriented. Like the pen scene, right? He's like, his guard is down. He's at home. He has this new element in his home, which is the dog barking. So maybe he wasn't, like, his situational awareness is already really dialed down.
Yep.
And maybe his tunnel vision on the dog. New problem, new thing. He's got to look down.
He might
at this
also
dog.
just be like getting used to everything, right? Like he might just be getting all of it together.
Yep. Dog could be barking at a blinking light in the kitchen because puppies are silly like that, as I'm sure you
Lots of a time. But yeah, so he gets the jump, he gets beaten up. So you don't really understand, like, 'cause there's one thing I think that I kind of didn't like is I knew quite a bit about the movie before I watched it. And so I knew, like, I had seen the parodies, so I kind of knew what was happening, but like I absolutely loved the shop scene. Like, it set such a tone, and that was the first time that is, I know you can say the Russian word, I can't. The boogeyman, like, just like
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga is that
Whatever.
he's there, and he's just like, what have you done? Like, this was the sleeping dragon. This was a bad idea.
Go ahead, put a freaking bullet in my head now, because if this guy finds out that I took your car, I'll be dead anyways. So go right ahead. Yeah, and I just hit this guy's kid, so I might be dead anyways. So put me out of my misery now, so I don't get tortured.
Yeah.
The guy had nothing else to lose, and it's just shown like you just fucked with the wrong person's person.
So, I have a good question for you. Is the
sorry? I also want to point out 2 in a row. He gets the giggle buddy gut shot. Like, he has so little situational awareness. 2 times somebody gets the drop on Theon or Yosef. Like, he's just a total suck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's he doesn't believe people can touch him, for sure. Oh yeah. That's a good
totally
point. Yeah.
He's just a daddy's boy, believes he's completely untouchable.
Yep. And so here's my question though. Do you think who do you think the 2 rivalries or fighting really is in this movie?
Well, it's kind of just I don't know, man. It's always going to be the Russians versus John Wick, but in the same breath, John Wick's only going after one kid. Like, his whole goal, and he's a man of complete focus and complete verdict. This is what he's after. I'm after this kid. Everything that's getting in my way is just getting in my way. The only reason I'm killing them is because they're going to try to kill me first. Yeah,
which is a good point. But my thing is that I think it's actually Wick versus the dad. I forget the guy's name. The mobster boss.
Oh, of course, entirely. There's some kind, because he did his job. He got out, and then he's been disrespected. Yeah, but there's
even like the give and take throughout the movie is like it's not so much Yosef trying to do anything as much as he's the cheese, and the trap is always set by the dad. Like everything's by
Oh,
him to
completely.
try
Yep.
and like get it set up. So
He
that's
even
why,
says, he even says, put the hen out for the fox, or if we're hunting the fox, use a hen or something
Yeah.
to that effect, right?
yeah, you
And then
lure them out.
I
So.
love it again. Something that I always love about leadership is that the person below you should always know what you're thinking and what you're doing, or he's going to be just as lost as the guy below him and the guy below him. And this guy always having to tell Vigo English, like it's just like, dude, come on. Like, I don't speak Russian. I get it. I work for the Russians. I should speak Russian. But come on, speak English. It's just the two of us. I get it.
But that's a good example too, though, is that he doesn't know who John Wick really is.
You don't know.
He has an illusion,
Yeah.
but he never really hits it because like it's one of those things is like so we talked about like just that little bit ago is we said like no one like how do you not know him? But we really stop and think about it. A lot of people did like all of the guards were like, fuck, like this is who we have to deal with.
Yeah, like God, I've immediately forgotten his name. Ivan. I think it's going to be Ivan. It's always Ivan. We're getting way ahead of ourselves.
So okay,
I want to go. There was something before that when John Wick shows up at the garage. So after obviously,
go ahead with the garage part then.
When he shows up at the garage, how does he get there? And this part, it always makes me chuckle. Just like in pure Keanu Reeves method, he takes the bus, which is like it's phenomenal. It may even be a speed reference because Lord knows what city they're in.
New York.
But I love it. New York. But he's just never above taking the bus.
Yep.
Which always, I don't know, it always makes me kind of chuckle there. But that's another thing that they did well when they took his dog. Other than being stupid and killing his dog, they got the drop on him, but they left him alive. They were smart enough to take away his only means of transportation.
Yep.
2 means of transportation: slashing the tires, take out the windshield, which was kind of stupid, leaving the bat behind. But
yeah, there was the evidence. But the other thing too is I'm assuming like there's an evidence like we have the city in our pocket because, so there was that as well.
Well, I think they were all wearing gloves. But.
Yeah. So then, fast forward a little bit, just because like, we do want to get to the tactical stuff. So they set the mood. He is a somebody. So when he suits up.
Oh, well, I love when the scene where he takes the sledgehammer. It's just so powerful because Buddy's he's just sitting there thinking and drinking, and John is just walking down the stairs with this sledgehammer, and it's just so powerful. Just boom.
Yeah,
boom, and just love the cut back and forth.
Yeah,
and it's just and it's just kill the boogeyman, and he's just like, I can't get over the points where he's just focused.
Yeah.
He's just
So he doesn't cover everything. He gets his money out again. He gets the guns out again. What did you think of the action in this? Because it's one of those things. Is like this is like the bread and butter. What we really want to talk about is what did you think of that?
Well, the one thing I love is it's a movie, so I mean the action is incredibly well choreographed. It's single shot, no jump cuts, no shaky cam, none of that Liam Neeson or Lost. Not Lost? That's the wrong movie. Transformers. None of that like high CG. But it's like actually so much
everyone's running one way, and the camera goes this way. Yeah,
exactly. And it's so much easier from like a special effects because they did everything mostly in post with VFX. And it, like except for obviously like the chunks of brain that were hanging out, which I thought were amazing touches when he'd get clean headshots and just brain matter.
On the headshot part, we talked about it. Pure focus. The double taps in this movie were amazing.
Some, yes, it was kind of stupid, and he's supposed to be this deadly assassin. Most of his kills were headshot, boom, 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 boom. But then he would go like the really big Russian, the Viking that comes out of the pool, out of the bath.
Yeah,
and it's just like 1, 2, 3, and then 1 to the head. Like, why bother wasting the 3 to the chest and then 1 to the head? And they're all scattered. None of them are tight grouping. It's just pop, 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 pop. I understand point blank. Maybe it was just spur of the moment, but why not just like go to Walking Dead? Anybody who's seen it, spoiler alert here, but just pull a cop and just do what they did to Beth and just 1 up the belly. Game over.
Yeah.
Even fast, quicker. But I'm not him. It's good. It was a great action bit. And the knife to the shoulder was kind of like, he just like takes it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that would have gone into his heart.
Yeah, but like I think it really set this tone though is that like he took them on, and he took them on like going. Like he came at them, and they really were fighting back. So, and hi, Brandon.
Of course. Well, he's like, and he's a man of sheer will and sheer focus, and his will and his focus is on Yosef.
Yeah.
And every thought in his mind is kill Yosef, which boils down to a couple of things that I've noticed. Again, he loses his focus because he gets this tunnel vision. He's after Yosef, and if he's as badass as they say he is, at the bottom of the club scene when he's finally almost got the drop on Yosef, some guy gets the drop on behind him because he's just looking through that tower rack. He's not focusing on anything behind him, and sure enough, boom, somebody gets a drop on him, and covert mission blown.
Yep, exactly.
Which is great, because if it was just a quick little walk-in Splinter Cell tap tap tap, there'd be no action, and we wouldn't have that great scene through the club. Which, again, more silliness, because if he's shooting people through the chest in a club, somebody behind him is going to get going to get some of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things. Is they definitely focus in on he's the bad guy but a good guy. So So jumping ahead a little bit. So because like I said, he did blow covert. So he gets completely. And it's one of those things. Is like the pistol play. I was watching it the second time after our podcast, and I was thinking of your knife story of going through PRZ and stuff like that. Like, it's one of those things. Is like, covert's gone. So the next time we see him in action he's okay,
loud, and okay. If everybody knows I'm here, I might as well take care of everybody.
Exactly.
Quickly and efficiently. But again, it goes back to inefficiently, where he's stuck onto that Russian guy, 3 shots, blah, blah. We skipped forward. We missed the house scene. The gentlemen who break into his house. That's the first major scene.
Well, we breezed through it. We breezed through that part.
No, we completely missed it entirely.
We were talking about it a little bit. I don't really think...
Because I've got very detailed notes, and we missed them.
Okay, so we're going to backtrack to when they break into the house. Detailed. Okay, yeah. So go ahead on your notes on the house part.
Well, no. So the house part, when these hitmen show up, great tactics. As you see them, they're moving, their guns are up. Really bad things.
Okay, yeah.
His house is made entirely of windows. So they're crossing in front of 8 or 9 or 10 windows. They don't know where their target is, because he's up in his bedroom, which, from what it looks like, there's that one window next to his bed.
Yeah.
And he's in all black and all the lights are off. So they don't seem to have any NVG, which obviously is a bad idea.
But the one thing to mention is these are the elites, but they're
obviously
also they're the team, but they're the mobster team. They're not.
It's another thing too. No comms on any of them. There's no headsets, because you see them with their heads off, and there's no wires. There's no nothing.
Nope.
So they have no comms. There's no communication between them. I think it was more like. I love this because it's William Dafoe, but it goes back to the Russians again sending hitmen after people. Boondock Saints. It's just a ragtag bunch of hitmen that are again, same with Star Wars, just a ragtag bunch of hitmen that are like, this is the price, go get him, no disintegration.
Yeah.
But of course, pure disintegration, kill him. It's John Wick. We don't want him alive anymore.
And it's one of those things we do talk about all the time, like communication's key. So. I think we were talking. I think I was talking about this, but we were saying, like, with all the tech that's out there, and everyone's like, oh, I want this and I want that. I'm like, how do so many people not have radios already? And I think this year, with using the comms as much as we have, my next purchase, like, I've been looking at everything. I'm actually going to be getting one of, like, a shoulder strap talker instead of the little pushed one I have, because I can't find it quick enough.
Yeah. Then that's a great idea. For a microphone or for both?
So I would put an earpiece in still, but then the input would be the shoulder.
Not tactical. So loud. Especially PRZ.
Sure
not good for the quiet points at all. It's brutal. It's very true. Like an assassin with a house full of windows. But it's so he has we gotta get you to Evan's place. Evan's got a crow's nest at the top of his house with 360 windows. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know, he has the perfect office in the entire house, or the entire universe. I love it.
So, but I got a question for Brandon in the comments. So Brandon says, "World's greatest assassin, house full of window. Great idea." So,
sarcastic or no?
That's what I mean. Like, are you sarcastic or not? Because I actually think it is a great idea, because he's on his own turf and he gets full visuals. Like, you can actually see everything. So
the situational awareness, and he just sees something over his shoulder. Yes, well, yeah, that doesn't answer. Yes, sarcastic or nah? Yes. Nah,
so
yes,
so
nah,
what is your take then? Good idea or bad idea?
I agree. Good idea.
Okay.
Mirrors and windows. Because then they'll always give you a sight line, and people who are breaking into your house get twitchy. It is always, or at least in action movies, they get twitchy and they shoot it at windows and mirrors.
Yeah, they may not shoot, but they'll definitely twitch and freak.
Yep. And it also boils down to, and it goes back to they're not a good team because they never seem to strike him as a group. They hit multiple points of entry at once, but they breach at once, but they never hit him at once. Yeah, okay, different points of the house, but it's not a big house.
Yeah.
We've seen the outside exterior. We've seen roughly where his room is. He can't. It's just a matter of like landscape layout, and if they really did breach at 3 different points, they would have hit him in the kitchen.
Yeah.
All of them. And they did. Well, they did sort of, but they hit him at all different times.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense. If they heard the gunshots already coming from the kitchen, why keep sweeping the house? They're after one target.
Again, don't know where it is.
Again, plot holes. Plot holes.
Plot holes, and I think also
it goes back to they're just hired assassins
and hired assassins. Like but
yeah,
that's one of those things.
No
precision,
no planning.
Yeah, and even though we saw them he generally took on 2-on-2. Horrible buddy system. Horrible buddy system. Like
because they were always a couple steps behind. Like they were always quite a few steps behind.
Yeah. So like definitely like not really working together, and yeah. So situational awareness was
terrible. Oh, 100%. It was
dead. So, but yeah. So it does set it up that, like you said, like takes the shoulder, takes the knife, gets, and the other thing too is he does get beat up a little bit. The knife scene though. Like, just that overpowering.
It's such a CGI knife because you see it like pass through the guy's shirt, up, and then back down, and then back up, but it goes through his shirt, and there's no tearing, there's no catching on anything. It's just like fake, real. It's just bad angle, I guess, or just a little screw up at the VFX, but still looked really cool. Yeah. The blood was a little bit shiny, but
yeah, usually
it was a movie. It was great. I liked it. Everything else, I don't like that because they got like the brain fallout to look kind of like really more realistic, not like too gory and too like head cavey in like it really would. Because like the whole back end comes, it's a mess. So they can't really show that in a movie.
Yeah.
But
the other thing too is that the one thing I want to say though, because like you said, like a lot of movies are getting more realistic, is that they always edge on this side of stereotypes. They always say...
Because, there's always... Well, at least, you know what? They didn't go with the blown away stereotype.
No,
they really kept to the guy gets... Well, great example. We'll get to that point later. But headshot, dead shot, they drop.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, okay, so that's happened. He goes to the hotel after this?
Well, there's a cleanup. There's the cleanup, which is like the best part, where you really kind of get the first glimpse into the underworld. He starts like, what's the point of these coins? Well, these coins obviously pay for something.
Yeah.
And there was a glitch. He killed 13 people. I counted. He killed 13, but he only asks for a dinner reservation for 12. Like, is it a baker's dozen? You get the 13th one free, maybe. But I just I counted. I counted 3 times because I watched it 4 times this week because we were talking about it. But he kills 13 guys, and it's like they're stopped moving, they're on the floor, they're dead. It was supposedly a headshot. I took my time, I paused, and he kills 13, but then he asks for a dinner reservation for 12, which kind of threw me off. And then after that, Jimmy, the police officer, shows up, and I love that rapport. So it's kind of a mix of, he's obviously paid this guy off. They're obviously close, and it might be some kind of like a neighborhood watch. He's a rich guy, lives up on a hill in a gated community, I would assume.
Or they know the past, like it's like one of those.
Yeah, and I love that he calls him Jimmy, because throw a shout out to my teammate and my best man and my best buddy, James Collette, who I'm the only person he allows to call Jimmy. And it's our call it. Oh, it's perfect because it works. He's my buddy. He's every time we play, we try to get on the field, he's my battle buddy. And if I yell Jimmy, he just it works. It's my call out. He's got his call sign, which I don't remember at all. I don't think I've ever actually known it, to be honest.
He's always been Jimmy.
But he's always been James. He's always been James or Jimmy.
Yeah.
Or he has a He has a nickname, but it's from high school, and I'm not going to share it publicly.
I'm not going to be that
We'll talk
guy.
about it afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to be that guy. He's
So
old
yeah,
friend.
so that happens. Cleanup happens. Then he hits the hotel, which is like kind of like a mecca. Which it was one of those things. Like looking at it, I'm like, I wonder how much is like, is it mostly assassin? Is it mostly like, there's a mix of business? Like, is it total? Like, it was like that weird kind of like give and take.
It would have to be, obviously, because it's a Manhattan downtown establishment. There would have to be that richer clientele that's allowed there, not just these assassins. Which is why I like the speakeasy in the basement.
Yeah.
Which, again, we go back, how long has he been out of it? Everybody who knows him is eyeballing him. Everybody in the club who knows who that is looks at him.
Yeah.
Glances at him.
Exactly.
None of them show excitement in their eye, which is great because they're all supposed to be these badass continental motherfuckers. And it's just like, look up, that's John Wick. They go back to what they're doing. Like, okay, he's here. Unlike in the second one, which we'll talk about when that comes around.
Yeah.
Everybody's panicked, which is no spoilers. Sorry for the spoiler.
No spoilers.
But yeah, no, it's a great
Yeah.
contrast. He's there. He's not there under business. Everybody knows he's out of the game. Immediately, the bartendress or the bartender, gender neutral, is all over him.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny, how long's it been? 4 years? 5 and change. That little conversation happens.
Yeah.
It's great. I love that little exchange, and it shows that he's, even when he's checking in, he's such a man of few words. Perkins is like, "Hey, great to see you again, John," and all he says is Perkins, and that one word says everything about both his character and how he feels about that character.
Yeah.
And then immediately he's making small right afterwards. It doesn't show that he's in a bad frame of mind, because immediately right afterwards he's talking to the concierge and he's making small talk. You know, like he clearly knows this girl, and that's like one red flag that's one red flag right away, that he's just like, Perkins.
Yep.
Dark. Something's bad there. Total red flag.
Exactly. And then so then he gets checked in, suited up, and the establishment's pretty cool. I did like the neutral faction it represented. I thought it was quite interesting. But then so then moving on, because I want to move just more to the tactical talks a little bit. So then moving on, he so after this he hits the bathhouse.
Well, he gets to his
he goes to the
up to his
speakeasy.
suite.
He goes to the suite, and then he gets into the speakeasy. He
Oh,
gets the
okay.
details.
Something that the lady says, and it goes back to what he used to be. Like, he used to be this badass hard motherfucker, and she says, "I've never seen you like this." And to the rest of us, he hasn't changed. He's been the same character with the same dead stare, but this bartender can tell that there's something wrong with him. And she says, "I've never seen you like this." And he's like, "Well, what?" Vulnerable, but he looks normal. He looks angry. He looks fine. And it's like the first time it's really like, oh, okay, well, maybe this guy isn't as clear as he used to be. He's not as
not quite the same.
Yeah, there's something missing. I didn't want to breeze over that, because I love that point, that it's like, to us he's a badass, but he used to be so much more. Like, he used to be the apex predator. Yeah. Which, going back to the bathhouse scene, when he dispatches Baldy, and he's just staring him in the eye, watching him die. That's when it's just all right, I need to get back into this. I think it's a mixture of him like getting to grips with killing again. Yeah. Because it's like he's staring that guy down, or it's just to show like this is a badass motherfucker who stares a guy in the eyes when he stabs him in the brain. Yep. 50-50.
Tomato.
Yeah, it depends. It all depends on how you look at it.
Yeah. So bath scene hits. I honestly want to say this is where you see that it is personal for him, which is where I think, like we talked about before, there's a couple edge, and I think that's why he loses his edge a couple times in the movie. But so the bath.
But he still shows off that edge, because as soon as Yosef. As soon as Yosef points the gun at him, his gun is up across the room. He's just locked eyes with that character. Yeah. And again, you see Theon Greyjoy. He just chokes. Yeah. And wow, that was sorry. He completely chokes. He falls. He just he stifles, and then you see that apex predator again, locks eyes with him, points that gun straight down, and kills a guy. like just cold. And then we get upstairs and he chases him up to the main club. Chases how many like. It always goes back with all these movies. Is there like a Yellow Pages where you hire a hitman or hire a henchman? Like, where do they get these guys who are willing? Like, how much is he paying these guys? I guess it's $2 million. Whoever kills him gets $2 million.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of incentive.
But there's also like there'd be the
financially.
family, they'd be the gang, they would be like the bodyguards because like everyone else is running pretty light. Because the one thing is that if you notice, as the movie gets on, the guards actually get younger. I'm not sure if
they're
you
kind of
really...
getting to the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, no, I did. There was the guards of the first one were all the older, like the big burly guy. He literally catches them with their pants down, even though it was supposed to be a trap. I guess it's a trap. He puts his most trained guys there to vend the chicken in the coop.
And it's one of those things is that like I think it's a good example of like you can set up something good, but like it takes a couple chinks. Like one of the things is like people always like comment like, oh, like plan out this and this, and it's like no, like plans never survive.
They didn't expect him to get by Ivan. Yeah, first contact was Ivan.
Yeah,
the doorman. Which I love to point out that he was he played the Russian, the hitman.
Yep.
From Punisher.
Yeah.
Big, burly, blonde-haired Stephen Nash.
Yep.
Russian, and then he also played the Super Shredder in Ninja Turtles 2.
Really? Good to know.
He was the Super Shredder. Yeah. Well, he's Stephen Nash. He's been in everything. He was in like Magic Mike and tons of movies that I wouldn't know anything about.
But that's what I mean, though, is that like I recognized him like obviously like right away.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, but so he gets in and like you see him just like focused and he's like clockwork going through, and then he sees Yosef and it's just like
all that he just
blinders go up and so then that's when he gets taken out. So again, we see the action. Now, one thing that I liked about it is in tactical situations when it is man down points or games or whatever, they have to come to you, and he uses it so well. Once he's blown his cover, they have to come to you, and that mentality, like, it works out in his advantage later. And it's just like I said, like, to go through and like talk about like the tactical stuff as we go is like that was something I picked up, and I'm like, yes, like they come to you. Like, you don't necessarily hunker down in a hole, but when you're doing your engagements, be prepared for that.
Yep.
So then, anything else you want to add about the club scene?
Well, there's always the one, and don't really have the example myself, but the beard. Again, he wastes more time with the guy with the beard.
Oh yeah,
he could have just grabbed him, pulled his beard down, and pop right in the forehead, right at eye level. But what's he do? He grabs him by the beard and then walks him over to a table. Like, this is supposed to be this 300-pound Russian murderer, and he just gets walked over by the beard.
Yeah.
Plot hole, and a waste of time. Why did he waste time pulling it? And why the second shot? I mean, it's like that. Damn it! Oh, I can't remember Perfect Score or whatever. When the guy's trying to get he's trying to get a perfect grade, so he tries to get a suicidal roommate, someone who'll kill himself so he can get a perfect grade. Yeah. And the guy's like, "I put a gun in my mouth and pulled the trigger." Well, I don't really think he would have got that second shot off. You know, it's just like why bother wasting the second shot? It was clearly a brainer, right?
Yeah.
Why waste it? But moving on. Yeah, beards are bad tactically. big tactical no. If you're going to be into CQC and hand to hand, don't have a beard because they're going to grab it.
Yeah. Or at least a thick one.
That's your main point of pivot is your jaw.
So Evan, we're talking about you.
Is he there? Is he listening? Is he watching and listening? No,
I'm just saying for later if he's listening.
Well, when you're listening.
Yeah. So then he does leave, goes back to the hotel. There is obviously they alluded to it earlier. There's a hit waiting for him that will break the rules of Sanctuary.
No, yeah, he asks or he puts out anybody who will break the rules double the bounty. Yeah. Which is where here's another huge plot hole. Why didn't Defoe just put down Perkins from the door? He saw her walk in. He clearly is a very talented sniper, or marksman. Why shoot the pillow? why let Perkins defend her? Why let him defend himself? Like, was he sitting up there watching Because Perkins, if you paid attention to the concierge, Perkins was one floor above John in 918. So did he watch, because he was up on a high point? Did Perkins think that he was helping her? Did he watch Perkins get dressed? So many questions, so many like plot holes. How long was he up there for? Because 918 and 818, they were right there, one above the other.
The other thing too, though, is does he not want to break the rules? Is it like, let's see what you got, John? Like, how far are you willing to go? Because it's one of those things is like he helps and then like doesn't help. It's like that weird, like I said, like I think it was mentor. Very much mentor and student thing. I do like the part after, like the fight scene. I don't really remember that one. It didn't stand out to me too much. It was very much like a one-on-one. They're up, they're
with
down,
him and her when they're kind of it was silly, a little bit of like choke her, throw her around, let her go for a second so she can get the jump on me. She gets a cheap shot in, but he's kicking her ass until she gets a couple of cheap shots in, like throwing her around the room. And like at no point, like at so many points, Defoe could like she was on top of him and like right above his guard, and she could have just won through the head. It would have been over, done so fast. Padding. Yeah, I know it's filler, but again, plot hole. If he's such a good marksman, and then we move on, because that scene always kind of messed me up. But and then he just hands her off to that girl, and again, you get to see the value of that coin. Catch and release. So you get to see the value of those coins, because she's done. She broke the rules. Everybody knows it at this point. If she had killed him and gotten out, there'd be no problem. But she got caught. The concierge found out who it was.
Yep, exactly. So moving on from there, he gets the info on where to.
Why did he just call? Why did he when the concierge called about the noise? How many rings does it really take to before? This is a freaking hotel full of assassins. If there's noise complaints, it's obviously gunshots.
Yep.
I would assume. I would assume the guy who owns the place knows that there's a contract out on John. I mean,
but it's supposed to be like, it's one of those things is rules are rules, and it's like, what's going on here sort of thing. Like, it's like one of those like, but the other thing too is like, there's another assassin right beside him. Like, you know what it probably is floors 800 and 900 are assassins. Like, that's the 2 floors of the killers, and then people get divided up from there.
He knows exactly what room the disturbance is coming from. He knows it's John Wick. The guys that are like, it's just how many rings does it take before they send up security? But
the other thing too is that like, later on they say is that like there are a society of rules and regulations and honor and stuff like it's still like that vagueness of like what you say, what you don't say. But so moving on though, so
to the church, so he move ahead. He gets to the church. He takes out the money stash,
and this is where we see loud John Wick.
Yeah, when he just goes loud in that parking lot. But I love how he's watching from above, and they execute that guy in an open courtyard. And right around John is 150 windows. Plot hole. How come nobody else saw that? You know, it was an open execution in a courtyard in the middle of the day.
Again,
and I know. Yeah. And then again, his first shot was to the guy directly beside Vigo.
He wanted to keep Vigo alive, though. He wanted to keep Vigo alive.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like
he wanted to find out. Yeah, right. He was looking for where Yosef was. Yeah. I forgot that part.
Yeah.
But that was beautiful. Tap tap pap 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 pap.
Yeah.
2 to the chest, 1 to the head. 2 to the chest, 1 on the head. Again, headshot after headshot. He keeps his flank. He comes around that vehicle.
Yeah.
He keeps on target. He moves up. Pop 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 pop. Hits 1 point. Comes around the car, and then again he sees his target. He starts getting tunnel vision, and that's when Buddy gets him with the car.
Yeah.
And that
cars
tunnel vision. Yeah. He gets hit with the car through a car. Through a car with a car.
Yeah. So he's standing. So his bunker is what they hit. So it's like he hits the tail end, and then it flips around
and he just goes flying. Yeah. And then of course this is 30 minutes into the movie. This hour and 20-minute movie. 30 minutes into the movie.
I think it's close to the hour mark.
And they're so close. And this is the first time he gets close to the big boss, right? No, that's 35 minutes in.
Okay.
So it was when he's passing out, and then of course we get to the scene where like, why bother torturing him? Why take him to that location?
It's
why?
But the one thing is that I think the mob boss like has a soft spot for him at the end. Like he wants to do.
If it wasn't for him,
an
he
ego and an ego though. Like he's like, you go out on my terms. Like that was kind of a constant. So yeah, definitely you're right. Like it was that happens. We see his mentor actually help him out. I kind of skipped through that part when I rewatched it about 3 times.
Because I love that the one thing that gets me is he gets him. You see the shot come through a dirty window. So
yes.
How is this guy the super shredder? Not super shredder. That's not right. Does he have a super scope that can see through everything? You know, like can he night vision, super infrared, where he gets this guy moving through a head? And again, why didn't he just kill Perkins if he's willing to give that much help? Why didn't he just kill Perkins?
Again, there's always the possibility that
padding. It would have been a very short movie.
There's padding. There's also like, does he come more to terms? I am gonna help John. Like maybe I'm not. Like he's in that like give and take sort of thing. Like definitely. Like why does he take the contract right away at the beginning though? So that he can be like, nope, I'm the main person. I'll slow it down, think it through. So Wick gets out.
Kills the guys, gets out, chases down Ivan, shoots the shotgun into the door. Total rage monster. I love that part. Okay, well, the one thing that was like, it was his biggest mistake was bringing up that it was his wife's fault. Biggest mistake was bringing up that it was his fault, that God, nobody leaves this. God took your wife because of that. And then he's just like, people have been asking if I'm back or lately, and I've been thinking, yeah, maybe I'm back. And it's just like, that's when you see the real John Wick, like that, when his eyes come up and it's just boom, it's over. You're done.
That was when you can tell like he's focused, but that's probably when he's living too. Like, is that like given?
He's also about to be killed, so the adrenaline's probably just surging through his veins, and he's probably trying to pull the handcuffs off from behind him before he gets a Ziploc. Ziploc put over his head, freezer bag. I love that they use a freezer bag.
Yeah. So then let's talk about
dispatches them, chases him down, shoots Buddy, and then he gets to go ahead. Sorry.
So moving on though he finds out where Yosef is, and he's in like a crappy little warehouse
with a ring of snipers who don't look at each other.
Oh my god, I was blown away, and it was like one of those things is like, hey, here's the target, and so what's the assumption here? And this is where I think, and like we talked about it earlier, is that like they get younger, they get more inexperienced. Like, hey, where are the snipers posted up? As if John Wick's gonna run into the building to shoot this guy.
Yeah, they're set. Well, it's weird because I remember going back to other movies and stuff, which we should definitely watch, like Ronin. Great tactic movie where they're pulling a job, but the guy who's supposed to be the ambush expert's like, we put 2 snipers at a high post. Funny enough, it's Sean Bean. He put 2 snipers at a high post looking down at each other, and it's just like, no. That's the dumbest thing you can do. Because crossfire. What if Buddy shows up behind the other one?
Yeah,
they can see each other and call each other out. But anyway,
and that's the thing too, is like he knows Russian, and it's like they don't know each other because it's
he says one word. He just says like "duh" and check.
And then it's just boom, boom, boom. But it's like one of those things too, though, is that like as he's shooting, like no one's reacting, no one's going like, what's going on? There's one guy who does the right thing. Get down. Let's get down to the car. Now, the other part too, though, those cars.
That's great. Again, back to a great tactic. Take away your enemy's exit strategy.
So, good idea. There's 2 guys posted up on the cars. How the F does he get to the cars to plant bombs to then trick? I'm like,
padding, exposition,
padding,
ex machina. Well, and then it goes. Okay, I want to go back to this always gets me because I brought up Ex Machina here. I love when going back to the red circle in the bathhouse in the downstairs when Yosef is running, how magically John just goes stormtrooper, and it's just miss.
Yeah,
he misses Yosef like 3, 4, 5 times.
Yep,
shooting. He's supposed to be this. Anyways,
but the other thing too, again, it
Ex Machina, Stormtrooper Ex Machina. I hated that. It really bothered me.
So, but the other thing too is you go back to the scared tactic. I want this. I want him to be scared. I want to.
Yeah, that's why I shot him in the belly first.
I know, but that's what I mean. Though,
is feel pain.
In general, though, is that like I'm shooting at him and he's running for his life, and he's like, I'm winning by the skin of my teeth. Like he's not getting cocky, he's getting scared. So you could overanalyze or Stormtrooper it, like tomato. So. So then he gets into the building, he wipes them out, and you're right, like, and then he's won, and
for sure. Yosef doesn't see him again until he's downstairs when he meets him at those containers. So at that point, it's over. That's the third time they see each other, and Yosef is still the cocky little shit. Like, my dad, like, who the fuck do you think you are? My dad's gonna get you, kind of thing. And he's just like, it's just this kid never learns. Like, he's just lost everything. All of his friends are dead. He's watched all of, probably, I would assume, because like you said, these guys are getting younger. These guys that trained, probably, like, he watched them. They probably grew up together. They're probably from the same neighborhood. Yeah. Or something to that effect. Maybe these are friends of his now at this point, and they're all just getting wasted, totally blown away.
Yeah. So
and the movie, I love how the movie just picks up. It starts off really slow, like the first 35 minutes are really, really dragging, and then like the last 45, 50 minutes of this movie is just ass kick.
Yeah,
Boom.
They go for like the finish there, and you gotta love you go out on my terms, I go out on my own.
Oh yeah, I love that. The poor old man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then the final scene, like the chase scene of like just ridiculous. And the one thing is that like, he could have walked away. Like, honestly, like he could have let Marcus go.
He gave, Marcus, you mean, sorry.
Yeah.
He could have, he said he was going to let him go. He was going to let John Wick go. But of course he did have it's about principle.
Yeah.
I think it always comes down to principle. You double-crossed me.
Yeah,
I hired you to kill him, and you killed everyone but him.
And it's one of those things is you it's like the joke of like the devil's in the details. You asked me to take out, like, you had no one to lose anymore. It was just you, and then the contract's out on you. You're thinking it's over, it's done, but you forgot that you made a friend on the way who now I can hurt. I have my angle on you, and he knows he's going to come back. Like, let's be honest there. Like, one thing that I thought was not necessarily powerful but interesting was that, like, you see him switch from brandy and he rolls his joint. Like, you can see him, like, when he knows his son.
Yeah.
When his son's gonna get killed, because he knows that he's lost. He's like, "There's nothing. You're gonna die," and then he's laughing at the end.
Yeah.
And to the point where like he's like, whatever. Like, it doesn't really matter anymore. And so all of the fight scenes there at the end, and again, we talked about cars.
I hate how it boils down. Okay, that car scene was amazing when he gets the guy, hits the guy with, and as he's rolling over his hood. Apparently, he just happens to know exactly where the guy is. Just tunk, not through the windshield, never through the windshield.
My one favorite like wraparound shot though.
Oh, that was great.
Like the drift, and the guy's just like shoot, duck down for cover, and it's like that works great, except
until the car is behind you.
Yeah, I was like, oh no. And then the one guy who apparently has never fired a gun before.
Well, no, he doesn't need a gun. Like, he's supposed to be the boss's right hand man. Like, he's never supposed to.
No, and I get that.
It's a total destroy the stereotype of the runner-up boss or whatever. The
second
boss, second in command, the elite.
Secretary.
He's secretary, but he wasn't. He was supposed to be the top henchman.
Yeah.
Who didn't speak Russian. Who never had a gun. He was just the stereotypical worst second in command.
Yeah. So that was good. And
number 2.
So overall, kind of ran through it, talk a lot about it. So let's talk our scoring. Let's talk scoring.
Okay, well, go ahead. Would you want anything at the end, or? I hate that it boiled down to a fist fight between an old man and like he magically loses all of his CQC skills. Yeah, I get it. Like, this is the end of the fight. He's at his last bar of health, what have you. He doesn't want to waste padding. But I hate that it always boils down to a fist fight. Yeah. Like, who's the bigger fighty guy? And again, it ends the same way as most of his fights do, with a knife.
Yep.
Down to the heart. I love it. See you later, John. Because these guys believe in the underworld. They believe in darkness.
Yeah. So, running through our thing, so there will be the talking points here too. So, did you enjoy the movie 1 to 10?
Of course, the movie's great. 9, 8.5.
8.5.
Enjoyment, like, it was good. There's some glaring problems that just kind of tweak me all the time. But
you also rewatched it a lot. Yeah,
and I watch it over and over again, so they get a little more glaring every time.
Yeah,
just bad. But first time I ever watched that movie, it blew me away because I was just watching the spectacle.
Exactly. So definitely same with me, like 8.5. Like, with enjoyment, like rewatching it.
100% every time.
How tactical was it?
John, hit and miss. It was good. I mean, I loved it. It made sense. I mean, it's spur of the moment, very CQC, you can never, I can't say it is or isn't tactical because we're not there. We're not in the situation. Like,
No,
we're
true.
picking apart. It's like picking apart a baseball game 3 years later.
Exactly. But
But it's
let's be
everything changes.
Like one of the jokes.
He's a badass motherfucker, and we've been picking apart tactically the whole time. He's a man he over focuses on things. He's lost his overall abilities.
And he's coming back out of retirement.
Yeah, exactly. He's 5 years out of retirement. I mean,
Yeah.
you take 5 years off of anything, and you don't ride a bike for 5 years, and yeah, okay, you're gonna get back on it, but you're gonna forget certain muscle memory to it.
Yeah. So,
but going back to muscle memory, you bodybuild, and not you don't personally, but if you bodybuild and one time you get up to 200-300 pounds, you'll always be able to get back up to 250, 260, 270 without a problem. But again, muscle memory. It always comes down to muscle memory, and shooting is a finite skill. It does deteriorate with time. He's clearly, obviously, still got it. You don't see him miss too often, but when he does miss, it's just ex machina.
So I would still give it an 8 for tactical.
Tactical. John's tactics were
John
a 9,
tactics,
9.5.
Yeah.
Bad guys' tactics were total garbage. But again, I think it's supposed to be 7 out of 10 on which, Brandon. We've gone through 2 topics.
Yeah, but don't worry, straight. Like comments are always delayed.
There was a lot of whoa. There's a lot of scenes where it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
To quote Keanu, whoa.
Yeah.
Because he just he blows guys away, and it's just like, that's a brain.
So it was a good the movie 7 out of 10. The action, like John Wick was the professional, and they were the more amateurs pretending to be professionals kind of thing. And it shows
they're hard mobsters. They're not assassins.
Exactly.
They're mobsters. They're meant with dealing with thugs and probably run of the mill people. Not John.
But I did enjoy the more like realistic of like he has to reload, he has to switch guns, he has to switch to his offhand. It's not like
that's another thing. He doesn't count his shots.
No.
Like he never counts. How many times is it click click? Oh, whack.
Yeah.
How many times does he not count his shots? It drives me insane.
So
I get it. Also comes back to he's picking up other people's guns. He doesn't know how many shots there are.
Yeah. But the one thing is that like you can always take it back, because I always use the example as G.I. Joe. They wear body armor and there's no ammo, but yet they can manage to shoot, and you never see them reload in the entire movie. Like that's what I mean, like with the tactical. Like
no, those are magic guns. You didn't know that they're enchanted, so it always reloads like in Devil May Cry.
Nanotechnology.
There's always a new bullet. No, not nanotechnology. It's magic. It's totally magic.
So, next question.
Go next.
Did it inspire you to go play paintball?
Always, because entirely. It always inspires me to go play paintball. I love that game. I love watching those tactical movies, and it just makes me kind of. It's like watching a baseball player or a boxer watch another boxer, watch another paintball player. You kind of see the guys shift and twitch and move, and it's just like, oh, come on, man. No, why'd you do that? But again, it's like you're picking apart somebody else's actions.
Exactly.
It's a movie. You can say it 1,000 times over. It's a movie.
I definitely liked it. I would say inspired the paintball. But so here's the next question: did it make you want to use an XYZ marker or play style? Yes, no, or explain.
I think anybody who listens or knows me personally, when I play, it's always a single or double pistol, or a little CQB gun, a little SMG, or my Phenom done up like an SMG. It's always small, it's always tight, and it's pistol. And it wasn't until just recently, a couple of weeks ago, actually, just getting back, wear a suit. I would love to wear a suit. If I got to wear a suit for that, I even have an old shitty oversized suit that would fit over top of a tack vest that I really wanted to wear to Honey Badger, just in case I got onto their mafia side. It was the general in my head.
The general had it up to a T. Like
I saw that.
I loved his style for the game. It was awesome.
It looked amazing.
I think that's a good example. Like I don't think it really inspires me to use like a marker, but the play style of like personally, I want to run mobster. Yeah, that style.
Single pistol on my hip. I've got the plug away. I've got the Widowmaker, one of their Blackhawk attachable hips. It's an old Kydex holster that they made for TTP quite a while ago, and ended up putting on a battle belt that 247 Tactical now makes, just to plug them again, not a sponsor. It's also owned by Widowmaker and Patch Panel, tactical like everybody. Don't forget. I got this. We got back from New York, and it was just like, hey, thank you so much. I really like this. This is really cool. I've always kind of admired it. He's like, just take it home. It's yours. Have it.
Yeah.
And from that point on, it's been like, how can I make this pistol rig battle belt? Like just with 4 or 5 pistols on one side, or 4 or 5 mags on one side, pistol in the middle, just keep it as a secondary sidearm and have that gun up, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's my thing is like when I run pistol, I run my battle belt. I have my leg rig, like for like my holster, sorry, I should say. But I run my Phas mags on the belt, and I run a couple upside down. So like I pull down for the mag, and I run a couple that are upright. The one thing that I will say though, and I run a TPX, and it's always that like I don't want to spend the splurge, but there's nothing more satisfying because I use the ambidextrous release of just like chink, and it drops, and then you pull and you're in, because I use the SMG mags now for it, and they work amazing, but I always got to pull them. Like they won't auto drop, and it's just like
well, so Gallagher, it's not a Widowmaker leg rig. It was a Widowmaker leg rig, but it's again Blackhawk compatible. So I put it on a Blackhawk swivel mount, and then put that on my hip, just to clarify.
So the other thing too is, did it make you want to do a new loadout? You kind of talked about it. For me,
yeah, totally. That was my new loadout. I ended up building that pistol setup because it's just so nice. And then if I were to wear a sweater, for example, I could cover it for on a rainy day. Wear a sweater or poncho, it would just cover my mags nicely. Yeah, and they're still accessible because they're on my the Serpa mount. Gallagher, you know I'm terrible with names. I don't even remember yours half the time. I'll have to post pictures. Which, yeah, I guess that's
he's talking
so
about
that's
like
my total.
It's rotational, is like what I'm looking at it. Like it's one that you can rotate it.
Perfect, thank you. We need to get a when we get a studio set up and all that jazz. We need to get a guy who can all of our
but for me, I want to get a Kydex holder. I don't use a Kydex right now, and I was like, and just seeing the cleanliness of the switch.
Fabric catches on everything. Especially with the TPX. Lots of sharp edges. Lots of things to catch on.
So that's definitely like my
2018.
I'm a year ahead of myself there. 2018 is going to be like redoing the pistol. I'm going to finish up my M5 stuff I want, and then probably do some stuff there. Off-screen Googler. All right, Gallagher, you're up. Okay, next one, and this is the one that I think we're going to talk a little bit more. Could you see a good event themed around this game?
No, not possible. Because it would have to be one against 100, and that could end way too fast to be of any fun.
I don't see it as a good game either.
There's no teams. There's 2 teams. There's one man versus it's 1 versus 100.
Yeah.
Well, 1 versus 76.
Yeah, and the only way I can see it being done is
76.
That, like, if you do something like Operation Honey Badger, which I've actually got I sent in a lot of my feedback, and I got some really great stuff back for that. Is you do 2 games at PRZ, and then you introduce non-player characters, or not
see, he'd be a great. I was just you stole the thought right out of my mind. He would be a great hero character.
Yeah,
like they have the Jedis.
Exactly.
They get the Jedis, and then you know what? Hey, you guys get John Wick.
Yeah,
he's gonna badass it up. He's got X number of live. He wears a bulletproof vest, so he can head body shots don't hurt him, but he needs to be medic on arm and leg shots. Yeah. You know, something wild, headshot, deadshot, naturally.
Exactly.
But it's John Wick, so he never gets shot in the head.
Yeah.
You have to wear the wig. You have to wear a black hair wig. That'd be amazing.
My thing too, though, is that like to spin it a little bit, though, is to put the assassin on it. Is that okay? Have a part of the field not necessarily sectioned off, but drop the vans. Have their players go out, push out people, and then put in some sort of dressed up character that everyone saw this van kind of like squeal around the corner, dropped it, build bunkers, and now you have to go and attack it. That would be super cool, but I can't see John.
It would be come back to 1 versus 100.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I don't.
It would have to be like,
good
oh
John
god,
Wick.
guys, John Wick is somewhere in the 3-story building, and then it would have to be like a birthday party, 1 versus 100.
Exactly. Like,
and he would have to be ballsy because they used to do that game. They used to do a wedding, or not a wedding game, a bachelor game where they'd put the bachelor in like a wedding dress or some kind of dress and give him a pistol and a ton of mags and send him out against his friends.
Yeah. exactly. So
And that would just, it never worked out well
yeah.
for The Bachelor.
I don't think you can do a good game. I think you could do a great mob game though, and I think
Iron Man game. But
yeah.
yes, they used to do an old Iron Man game. But I mean, CQB1, when you could, the old days.
So, so yeah. So overall, though, enjoyed it. I'm more interesting to see because this one was a very, like you said, like it was one versus how many. To do some more tactical movies, watching, and the squads up and the more professionals into it. But definitely enjoyed it.
I tried to back when I was doing YouTube videos regularly. At all. I haven't done them in 3-4 years now. But trying to record a pistol is so much harder than a rifle, because a rifle is basically stationary if you hold it right, but with a pistol, because you're always wiggling and everything, it just doesn't make for good footage ever. I mean, you get the good kill shots when everything works out nicely and you're square, but 9 times out of 10 you're putting your gun around. Okay, you're not putting your gun around corners, but you don't get the right point. Yeah, you don't always get the right sight lines, because again, the camera only sees one point of view and you're actually seeing a slightly different one, so a lot of stuff doesn't translate well.
Your eyes can zoom in, whereas a camera can't. Like it's one thing that always kind of throws me off is like, there's the focus there, like you can focus in on so much more stuff, so it's always interesting. Awesome. So not to run into our more topics because we're hitting that hour mark, but so Nero, where can people find you in the upcoming next little bit and or follow you?
I can always facebook.com/NeroWolf, Mr. Nero. No, NeroWolf is my personal. I don't really have one for the other one, but it's facebook.com and it's Nero. And then of course on Instagram at Mr. NeroWolf and YouTube Mr. NeroWolf. ULF. I don't know. It seems to be the problem.
Yeah. And then you're hitting up anything? No, right?
Black Flag is the next one, 100% on my radar. I really wanted to go to a Sega this year, but it doesn't look like it's going to pan out.
Yeah, same.
Because what weekend is that? What day is that?
Third Saturday. It's the 19th.
19th. So the weekend. Okay, perfect. Yeah, probably not going to happen because I'm only allowed like one weekend a month now. We're using that now.
They keep getting used up, so we definitely have some other cool shows coming down the pipeline. Next week we're going to try and be hitting weekly. Every other week we're going to be doing our normal paintball talks, and then this one probably do movies every other week as well, or other topics that we're looking at as well. So we don't have a theme for next one, but other cool stuff coming down the pipeline, random shows at different times. So keep an eye on the Talking Tactical podcast on Facebook. It's where most of our news will come. You can find us on Talking Tactical on Instagram and Twitter now. Some news will be coming there.
At Talking Tactical on both.
At Talking Tactical on both. If you enjoyed the video but want to listen to it on the go, you can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just simply search Talking Tactical Podcast or Talking Tactical. And the video as well, you'll see it here on Facebook or on YouTube. So if you don't want to watch it on this platform, there are other options as well. I think that's kind of it. Oh, my next place that I'll be is this Sunday at Sector 57, just around Oshawa. I'm hosting my final mini scenario game. It is walk-on rates, BYOP options, just no first strikes. It's an open game, really relaxed, but they're themed missions, like half-hour games, tactically focused, but it's still easygoing. It's a fun day of getting out to paintball, where it can kind of feel like a big event, but not. So they've been a lot of fun this year. And then Black Flag for me is my next for sure as well.
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Pending registration. There's always a problem with that because I can never register until like day before.
Yeah.
Because I never know if I can go.
Yeah.
It's always hard.
And then in August and September, probably doing something, but just more of a impromptu from there. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for checking out our first Talking Tactical podcast movie. Hope you enjoyed it. Definitely leave some comments below on what you thought of the show. If you missed the first half, check it out. If you're checking out the audio, shoot us around. Also, I don't actually ever plug this, but you can also email us at talkingtactical@gmail.com, because I always forget to mention it, but we will get those. Or just Facebook message us. We'll be more than happy to respond. So we will see you guys on the field.
Take care. Thanks for Talking Tactical.